Hi guys, I'm all excited about my new pair of gardening shoes. I got these sloggers in the mail yesterday and I'm so excited. I have destroyed all of my shoes in the garden this spring and summer, so I was badly in need of a pair and I thought these were so pretty. They're kind of a rubber material that's waterproof and they have roses all over them. But anyway, enough about my new shoes that I'm thrilled about. I really wanted to tune in and update you on the polytunnel. I'm realizing I haven't shown you in a very long time what's going on in here. And it's been very, very hot. The cacti don't seem to mind the heat, but I go in there about once a week and really drench them with the hose because they get very parched. And here in Maryland, we've had about 2 weeks of temperatures in the 90s. So even though it's early, I actually have to work kind of quickly with this video because I don't want my camera to overheat. But let me show you a few things I observed in here last night when I was watering the plants. It's not going to be a full cacti tour, but just more of an update about interesting findings. So let me show you what I've got here. The first thing I noticed was this plant here, a barrel type cactus. It's probably an echinocactus, but this was one of the few that I didn't label. By the way, thank you everybody that helped me ID my cactus collection. I have most things labeled, but the first one I'm talking about does not have a label. But I noticed that it is suffering from chlorosis, which means it has some kind of nutrient deficiency. And I'm going to have to come out here with a little light fertilizer for that one. And given that I just watered the whole collection, I might give them all a light fertilizing. I don't want to do too much in the heat of the summer, but obviously this one needs something. If you guys have any other ideas as to what it could be, I hope it's not on its way out. I don't see any pests, and I think I have had plants die before, and this is what happens beforehand, but I'm hoping it's just a nutrient issue. So let me know what you think about that one. I always appreciate your advice. That's what's wonderful about the YouTube community. We can share our knowledge. And then the second thing I wanted to show you, this dish garden is doing well. I have a little crispy part on the cylindrical Opuntia, but other than that it's doing well. But I wanted to also show you what's going on here. This was a supermarket cactus that you all helped me identify as a Gymnocalycium baldianum. And I just got to tuck the label in, but thank you again for your help on IDing that. But look, it's still throwing up buds, and it's got a beautiful fuchsia red, kind of a red bloom that's about to open. So I'm thrilled about that. I haven't gotten a lot of blooms this year as I didn't let my cacti collection get fully dormant. I did do some light watering throughout the winter, and it resulted in basically little to no blooms. So I'm going to have to rethink that with my overwintering next year. But this one, because I purchased it in the spring, does have blooms set up. So I was thrilled about that. I'm thrilled to have the blooms. And then all the Opuntias are doing well. These were all pads that I planted. And I'll just keep going here. This little guy is looking kind of bedraggled. He's still wet from the drenching I gave last night. But that's a nice fuzzy one. He'll appreciate, or she will appreciate, the hydration. And let me show you over here what's going on. This one is still going strong. This was one that was damaged last year by a leafcutter ant. And I would see the ant running in and out of the cacti. And he was so industrious that I felt like, oh, you know, I don't want to kill that poor little guy. But he made a cave out of the cactus, and amazingly enough, this cactus has continued to grow and thrive, so despite the damage. So aren't they amazing? Cacti are so resilient. One of the many reasons why I love them. And even though it's 8 in the morning, it's already getting so hot in here. I really don't know how the cacti put up with this heat. but I'll just scan over a few of these guys, show you how they're doing. This one looks a little dry. I think it's a gymnocalacium. It's got dry tips, but hopefully that water will keep it going. Oh, this was something I noticed. This is a Cactus schlosseri, and I noticed that when it grows, it doesn't have spines, and later on it kind of sends out those spines when it's further down. The growth is further down on the cactus. But I just think that's so beautiful and interesting how it grows. And then another thing I wanted to show you was this little guy. This is some type of cereus cactus. He is flat on one side. I don't know if you can tell that from my camera angle, but look at that, guys. No matter what I do with watering, fertilizing, rotating him for the sun, he's always flat on the side. So I don't know what's going on with that, if you have any thoughts on that. There's been some kind of deformity in one of the ridges where it was stunted. And again, I don't see any pests. So I don't know if he just got dehydrated at one point, but one of the ridges never seems to plump out. So I thought that was an interesting thing to show you, and maybe you can give me some insight on that. My Pilocereus pachysclatus is doing really well, and I love the way it's holding those water droplets. So beautiful. My husband gave me that one. I love that one. And then back here, I noticed that one of my adenium seedlings that I think I've had for a couple years now is putting out flowers. Look at the fuchsia flowers on that. I'm going to be excited to see it when it's fully open. But I had some regret with these. I went ahead and pruned half of them, thinking that I would encourage branching. And actually that was one that I pruned. But the other ones looked a bit stunted, and I was sort of regretting my decision to do that. But they're doing okay. So half of them got pruned, half of them didn't. And the eBay listing said that they were a variety of different ones. So I'm hoping to get a variety of different colors once they do start blooming. But isn't that exciting, guys? Again, I'm so starved for cacti and succulent blooms. I'm thrilled to see that happening. And then the other thing I wanted to share with you is my Euphorbia plant, my pencil cactus. It's a Euphorbia Plant. Has some really pale, beautiful green new growth in the center. I hope you can see that. But it just adores the heat. It takes up that whole corner, and it's growing and thriving, and it's been quite a easy plant for me. It's a no-fuss plant. And some of the other euphorbias have proven challenging for me, but this guy just keeps going, and I never transplant it. Pretty much leave it alone, and it does its thing. So it's very amazing. Let me show you up here. I'm happy to get in a little bit of shade here. This is my Tail Cactus. It suffered some damage from mealybugs over the winter, but one side is really flushing out, and I love the way the new growth looks on that. Those will all be long hanging arms. But isn't that beautiful? It's bounced back really well, I'm happy to say. And then these are my cuttings that I took a year or two ago from my beaver tail cacti. And they're doing really well. It's lots of green, and we have lots of new little green, bright green pads. And I love the way those new pads look. They're just magical. Aren't those pretty? And then let me take you down here. I have my aloe and gasteria and haworthia plants under here in a little bit of shade. Oh, and Jack, look. This is one that Jack gave me, my YouTube friend, plant friend. And I just noticed just now, I didn't even see this last night, that it is going to flower. I hope you can see that little bud there. Look, guys, right here. there's a flower coming out, a flower stalk, which means it's definitely happy if it's sending out flowers. And it did plump up nicely, so it's looking great. And this is my new star aloe that I got this summer. But I do keep them under here so they don't get full blasting sun. They get a little bit of sun and lots of bright light, but I don't like to fry them in the sun, and they seem to be happy under here. These are my dwarf gasteria, and I had just given them a new repot. Happy to see they plumped out. They were a little dehydrated before I did that. And then, oh, I'm just rooting a few of my spider plant cuttings here, and they're happy out in this heat as well. So they're doing well. I'll have a new spider plant. And then back here I have my Trichocereus pachinoi. These are the San Pedro cacti. And my original mother plant did die, but not before giving me these beautiful arms, which I rooted. And I think I potted these up last year. And that one behind that spider web has a new little growth here, a new arm starting. So I'm very excited about that. And again, here's some more aloes. My tiger aloes fattened up. And they appreciate a good drenching in the heat too, but they're also, if you can tell, they're also in a bit of a shady area. My aloes, I don't know about yours, but mine don't appreciate direct sun all day long. So they're happy over there. I did have them in another spot earlier in the summer, and I moved them over here, and they're looking much better. And then I have my giant beaver tail cacti. These are the ones that are almost too big to bring in, but I'm going to cut them back every year and bring them in anyway because they had suffered frost damage last fall. So I was regretting doing that, but all's well now, and they seem to have rebounded and put out lots of new pads. Even down on some of the corky areas, they've put out some new green pads. So I thought that was interesting. Oh, I think I turned it around. I had noticed that, but there was green coming out of the corkiness down here. Let me show you that. See, there's a green pad coming out. So sometimes they get corky when they're older, but those areas can still put out new pads. But they're absolutely enormous. They're about 3 or 4 feet tall. And they're liking the spot where I have put them. And then lastly, I have a little shelf area here with some more succulents, couple more Haworthia, some aloes. I have my donkey tail, I think this is called the donkey tail sedum here. And this never looks good in the winter, but it does always enjoy summertime and plumps up, and it's another one that I think really loves the heat. But everything here is doing well. My sister gave me these beauties. One of her co-workers was moving and couldn't take her plants, and my sister got this for me, and I put them in this beautiful bonsai dish. But they're still going strong after, I think, 3 or 4 years, so I'm happy about that. And I have a mix of succulents here. Some are doing better than others, but that's a little succulent garden that I have there. And down here, these are my dragon fruit seedlings, and they suffered some mealybug damage, but they're bouncing back, and some of their little arms are getting nice and plump. And then lastly, guys, here is a very tall aloe, and I repotted it and staked it this year, and it's doing well. So let me go ahead and give you a kind of, it's about 2 feet tall. Little scraggly, but it looks healthy and happy. So guys, there you go. I'm sorry it's been so long since I've done an update on my plants, but as you can see, as a whole, they're doing very well and enjoying their summer in the polytunnel. And you know, if you can give me some advice on a couple of those issues I've noticed, I'd really appreciate it. It's one of the reasons why I like to have plant friends. But thank you so much for being my plant friend, for tuning in and subscribing, and I'll see you next time. Bye.